Hello, hello. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. Here we go. This is going to be the Ophiuchus storytelling. Guys, I do this one, the style anyway, about once a quarter. I used to do it once a month. I might bring it back and do it once a month because I really like it. It's where I'm just going to focus only on Ophiuchus. This is going to be a storyline that kind of like focuses on the gifts, the energy, the way a character presents themselves, how others see this character. Because I think too often we get caught up in all these other storylines that don't put any of the positive focus back on our character. And so that's why I like this style once in a while, just to touch base again. Ian, thank you for being here again, honey. And yes, big shout out to our Delinda. All right, so here we go. So first off, how does Ophiuchus come across to others? We've got a 9 of discs. As a gift from the universe to the planet, someone who's got a wealth of knowledge. This is somebody who could be very interested and very knowledgeable about astronomy, astrology, movement of the planets. They may have a particular, you notice that we have the little morning glory flowers here as well. I feel like there's always a fresh spin that they bring to anything, but there's a depth of knowledge about the cosmos, about our place in the universe that this character brings to the table. Now, with the 9 of discs, there's a confidence level here as well. Maybe this character is good at inspiring others to feel confident that in this huge galaxy, we are both completely insignificant and incredibly significant. Why? Because it's such a huge galaxy, yet here we stand. Look at all the things that are balanced just so that Earth can be in this particular location, and then the planet can host life, and then all the things that had to go right just so we could be born. Doesn't that prove that as little as we are, as seemingly insignificant as we would be in this gigantic galaxy, it's the opposite proof is also there, that we are immensely valuable. I think that this character walks with their head high, with that warmth, that knowledge that, well, of course we're incredibly valuable. Of course we're meant to be here. How could one ever doubt it? Every single one of us has a very specific place because it took a lot to get us here. So that right there proves that we are incredibly precious. That confidence, that inherent value that they carry, that could be like I say, a fresh eye opening. Like they have a way to express this to others, and it's like a morning glory flower that opens in the morning, right? Morning glories close up at night, but they open up in the daytime. I feel like that idea blossoms and blooms for other people as well. Maybe because this particular Ophiuchus has a way through their own self-worth to make other people feel equally as valued. Maybe they have really awesome ways that they just remind people or lift up others along the way and have their minds awaken to the fact that you know how valuable you are. All the things that had to go right, your mama had to carry you for 9 months in the oven, and then you had to get birthed, and then you had to learn how to work those little muscles to hold your head up and roll over to tummy time, and then little by little crawl, and then eventually learn to walk, and then grow into a full-sized 5 foot 6 foot human. All that had to happen over the course of how many years? But first you had to have all those ancestors just so you could be here. You were generations in the making. That's how sacred and precious you are. You've got 7 generations of human beings that all worked to make you. Like, that's an amazing thing to think of, our value in that concept. And I think that our Ophiuchus has a way about them to make people stop and think how important they truly are. Well done, character. I really like this. We've also got a 9 of wands in the reverse. This character doesn't believe in getting beat. This character doesn't believe, they see obstacles in a different way. Instead of saying, oh God, it's fatiguing, life is really hard, but we'll brush it off and at some point we'll be able to stand back up. This character goes, no, some things aren't worthy of putting our energy into. Look, as important as life is, we've only got a certain amount of time. So when something is like obviously fatiguing us, not feeling right, why keep grinding away? Why not alter like our energy and go after other pursuits that actually feel more joyful? Yes, there's a time to push through and learn a tough lesson, but there's also times to surrender and go, why am I banging my head against this wall just so I can understand the wall is hard? Why don't I walk around the wall and go for the doorway and go someplace else? This Ophiuchus doesn't let themselves get exhausted and beat. They find a way to look at stuff and evaluate, is this worthy of like the journey to learn a new lesson, so I'll put in the effort? Or is this something saying, this isn't worth my time. This Ophiuchus doesn't get exhausted by trying to get something to work out because they're hard-headed and they want it to be their way. They they recognize when to let it go. To put it simply, instead of being a wounded warrior who says, I got to keep learning how to win on the battlefield, this person says, I choose peace, not war. There's an attitude here of like gracefully relaxing, releasing, and surrendering instead of making everything like a crusade, which I have to say, I really admire that. Four of Swords. Four of Swords, it's all about promoting healing. Now, the way that this Ophiuchus might go about healing, though, is we've got these, how do I say this? We've got these statues, which I have to cover up with my chubby fingers because I can't show, because they have still human forms and they don't have clothes on because they're statues. But I don't see anything wrong with human nude forms, but I'm not the one in charge of the online world. So we'll just honor the rules here, right? Here's the thing though, we've got a feminine and masculine form. I really think that this is an Ophiuchus who is all about healing the struggles between men and women. They want to go ahead and not look at the, like the differences of the genders as obstacles, but rather look toward the beauty of the strengths that everybody contributes. They don't want to judge groups and vilify this or that. They actually kind of are more balanced in the way they look at. I mean, maybe this is somebody who's healing the mother and father wounds. Maybe this is somebody who sees a way forward. So it doesn't have to be the battle of the sexes, or like there's always going to be conflict because we come into this world with maybe some different strengths and attributes. Instead, it's like, why is that a bad thing? Like, we don't get angry that a crocodile has a different ability to swim than a deep sea fish does, right? They might both be capable of being aquatic, but one can also be on land, but then they can't go as deep under the water as fish can. Everything has its different elements that they excel in, and yet they could also have some space where they can cohabitate, but they also will have a range where the other one can't join them. But is that a bad thing? And this character says, well, no, let's heal those wounds. I feel like this Ophiuchus could be someone who is highly admired for the way they don't vilify. And this is, the overall takeaway that I keep getting off of this is that we've got an Ophiuchus that is very much like the petty argument stuff is just beneath them. They don't have time to get all crusady about anything. They're just like, look, we're all freaking humans. We're all here. We all have some different strengths, different attributes. Who cares? And when we don't really get along, sometimes we go, well, we're probably never going to see eye to eye, but that's cool. You do your thing, I do mine. And we just kind of, I think that this Ophiuchus just, they let all that nitpicky, like inflammatory crap go because they haven't got time to get involved in drama. We got a Man of Cups. They are all about love. Whoever this is, this Ophiuchus is like a leader in emotion. This could be the other real reason that this Ophiuchus could be loved for their like spiritual attributes, the way that they conduct themselves. This could be somebody who could go on to become a really amazing spiritual leader, even though I don't think that they're aiming for that. I really don't think they care about telling other people how it should be. I think they just live their life in a particular way, and it comes across as so elevated and so much more relaxed that I think people gravitate toward this particular Ophiuchus, because it's like, oh my God, you make it feel like it doesn't always have to be a battle. You make it feel like it's okay if people have different strengths and different opinions. You make it feel like we don't have to instantly find somebody to fight with just because somebody challenges what we thought or because someone is different. That right there is like, it makes people want to gravitate toward this Ophiuchus because they know they'll be accepted also. There's not this Ophiuchus does not put off a hostile vibe. They put off this really kind of chill, kind of accepting. They probably have some really great ways to well, they've got pearls of wisdom. We see the pearls up here. They've got some really awesome ways of, even if somebody comes at them and says something rude, they may sit there and nod and be like, your sentence structure was impeccable. That was so well said. That insult was absolutely incredible. And they might repeat it and they might really, they're not even insulted. They don't care if somebody doesn't like them, but they are amazed by the quality of that insult. That was so well said. Like I'm picturing this character is just, they're so far removed from getting involved in petty crap that they can actually see, a turn of phrase was really, that was excellent. I I salute you for your turn of insulting phrase. That was well constructed. This character makes me laugh because I think I aspire to be more like this character. I can still be hot-headed, but I want to be this. Like I love this character so far. They're so like I want to be around them. So I can see why others would as well. In the realm of Three of Swords. All right. So the other thing that is so attractive about this Ophiuchus to others is that this Ophiuchus has their own life story. They do. Yet maybe this is why they are who they are. They can see and understand the unpleasantness of life, also the motives that make people betray and make people do terrible things. They can see all of that as well, but the way in which this Ophiuchus chooses to handle this is that they're always looking for where was the breakdown in understanding, because ultimately that's the biggest issue. This character could be a very big history buff, and they may have a way of explaining historical facts that actually see the bigger picture. Like, what's at the core of nations fighting each other has been a breakdown in genuine communication and figuring out how to work together and realizing the bigger picture, which is we're all a part of this same planet. We're all going to be sharing the resources, whether or not we realize it. It's like they understand like the essence of where wounds come from, that creates then fear that creates terrible behavior. This Ophiuchus is like somebody who can study human nature, and they understand it at a very profound level. They themselves have probably gone through versions of that, and they can apply the same concept to the macro scale, and that's maybe why they have such a profound understanding of humanity. And that's why they still stand there and they have love in their hearts, because it's like, I get it. Like there's fear, and there's wounded energy that really is at the core of almost every bad decision. I think that this Ophiuchus comes across as somebody that they're all about wisdom. We have mystic visions, altered states of consciousness allowing you to see the future. So our final card for this Ophiuchus on what makes them so attractive, what makes people drawn to them, is they literally may have like an amazing perspective. Maybe they have very vivid dreams. Maybe they have the astral travel thing. Maybe they can see the future simply because they understand past history. And we actually have a document on this Three of Swords card that is talking about some of the struggles between nations, ancient struggles that have gone on for as long as certain nations have been, have had their borders drawn up. And I feel like because our Ophiuchus is so aware of history, human nature, they are really good at predicting and seeing the future. And I feel like they are a huge draw for other people to come to them looking for some kind of. Cancerian got a storyline that's not. It runs parallel to this. It's not that different, but it is different. But there's an element of the mysticism that shows up for both the Cancerian storytelling and this Ophiuchus. As far as like the mysticism goes, this feels like an Ophiuchus that could really like lead or change the world. So I keep feeling like they are looked at with a little bit of awe. They might also be looked at if they're going to wind up in a position of real authority, and this character might. They could be a visionary for, producing certain things. They could become a CEO of a company that, manufactures something that's going to be needed 10 years from now. They could be somebody who goes into like the political arena, and they're looked at as one of our wise minds of our era. They come across as someone who's rooted maybe in a solid foundation of history, but they combine it with this ability to project forward, which seems very simple to them. This is simple and easy for them, yet other people are mystified. How do you do it? How do you do it? And I just feel like there's a lot of collective consciousness, since the mushrooms are like one of the largest continuous what do I want to say living beings. They have got a network under the surface that's just tremendous. And there is kind of like a collective knowledge and awareness. Very interesting if you read up on this or listen to some of the talks about mushrooms. Anyway, I feel like there is this interwoven, interconnected energy that comes through. And even when people meet this Ophiuchus, they know that they're standing in front of somebody that has a deeper level of comprehension that is above what one would expect. It's not, how do I say, it's not the fakey like um I'm not even gonna say it because then I just sound judgy. I'll just say that they're authentic. That's what I'll say instead of speaking like a, what do I want to say, a popular fad type of language. They actually are the real deal. That's how I'll leave that. All right, you guys. Thank you everybody for hanging out with me. I hope if you do enjoy the channel, you will subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I try to make sure that Ophiuchus gets 1 or 2 per week. It kind of depends on my time and how many people watch. I don't have a ton of Ophiuchus watchers, but those of you that are here are so precious and dear to me. Thank you guys for choosing to visit my channel. I am honored. And thank you everybody for your kindness. All right, guys. Delina, always great to see you. Thank you, sweetheart. I am. Good to see you again, honey. Hi, Anita. I'm delighted you found us live. Sophie, thanks for the fire. Hey, Jessica. Aries is over there asleep on the couch. RS, yes, puppy is in the house. He always is. I don't know if you guys can hear him snoring from time to time. He's like my little, well, I call him my little work partner, like he's my coworker, but lately he's had some gas, and so now I call him my partner. And there are times where I'm like, oh my gosh, Aries, we're gonna take a break. Anyway, you guys take care. Sorry, that was TMI. But we all know dogs, right? Deuce, thank you for the heart. Hacky hacks, good to see you. All right, you guys, I'll see you again soon. Bye.